Here is a question I want you to sit with for a second. You are in a room, you are shown two cards, one with a single line and one with 3 lines of different lengths. Your job is to say which of the 3 lines matches the first one. The answer is obvious, you can see it clearly, but every single person in the room just said the wrong one. All of them, confidently, without hesitation. What do? Most people, when asked this hypothetically, say they would trust their own eyes. They would give the correct answer. Of course they would. They are wrong about themselves, and a psychologist named Solomon Asch proved it. In 1951, Asch invited college students into what they were told was a vision test. Each student sat at a table with 7 or 8 other people and was shown cards and asked to say aloud which line matched a reference line. The task was not remotely difficult. The correct answer was always clear. Sometimes the difference between lines was 2 inches. There was no trick in the visual. What the real participant didn't know was that everyone else at the table was an actor instructed to unanimously give the wrong answer. And when they did, the real participants went along with them far more often than anyone predicted. The numbers, 75% of participants conformed to the incorrect group answer at least once. Averaged across all trials, the error rate was 37%. Only 24% of participants never conformed at all. In a control group with no actors, the error rate was less than 1%, and a 2023 replication study found an identical result of 33% more than 70 years later. Asch was shaken. The tendency to conformity in our society is so strong that reasonably intelligent and well-meaning young people are willing to call white black. After the experiment, participants fell into 2 categories. Most had not actually believed the group was right. They could still see the correct answer, but they went along anyway because they didn't want to stand out, didn't want to be ridiculed, didn't want to be the one person who contradicted everyone else. And neuroscience has shown why this fear is so powerful. Brain scans of people resisting group pressure show activation in the amygdala, the brain's alarm center, the same region that registers physical pain. Disagreeing with the crowd doesn't just feel uncomfortable, it registers neurologically as a threat. A smaller group of participants genuinely started to doubt their own perception. They looked at the card, saw the obvious answer, heard everyone else say something different, and began to wonder if maybe they were wrong. Maybe the group saw something they didn't, and their private beliefs actually shifted. They didn't just say the wrong answer, they started to believe it. Asch then ran a variation where one actor gave a different answer from the rest, not necessarily the correct answer, just a different one, and conformity dropped from 37% to just 5 to 10%. One person, one dissenting voice, and the social pressure essentially collapsed. Because unanimity is not evidence, it is pressure, and the moment it fractures, the psychological spell breaks. Asch also found that one actor had almost no effect at 3%, 2 produced 13%, 3 produced 33%, and beyond 3 or 4, adding more people made almost no difference. A group of 15 exerted no more force than a group of 4. And when participants wrote their answers privately instead of announcing them aloud, conformity dropped to about 1/3 of the original level, because the social visibility was the engine driving most of the conformity. Remove the audience, and people trusted their own judgment again. For most of human history, exclusion from the group was not merely unpleasant, it was death, and so the brain developed a system to prevent exclusion at nearly any cost. Social rejection activates the same neural pathways as physical pain, because for 200,000 years, being ostracized could kill you. And the problem is, this ancient wiring now runs in a world where the group might be 8 strangers in a psychology experiment, or a meeting where you disagree with the consensus. The stakes are not the same, but the brain responds as if they are. Most of the time, conformity is harmless, but sometimes it is not. The bystander effect, where people fail to help in emergencies because no one else is acting, is conformity in its most dangerous form. Groupthink has produced organizational disasters when dissent was suppressed, and at the largest scale, conformity has enabled atrocities when ordinary people followed group behavior rather than individual moral judgment. To resist, say something first before the consensus forms, because you become the dissenting voice that makes it safe for others to agree. Find one ally, because you don't need a majority. You need one person willing to give a different answer to break the unanimity. Separate the public from the private by asking yourself what you would say if writing it down anonymously, and name unanimity as pressure, not truth, because consensus and accuracy are different things. Solomon Asch ran his experiment to prove that people would not conform to something obviously wrong. He proved the opposite. But he also found the 24% who never conformed, and the most important person in any room is often not the loudest or the most senior. It is the first one who says something different. And understanding what conformity is and why it happens is what makes it possible to be that person.